Welcome into another exciting episode of The Scene. I am your host, Bubba Starts, and with me today is producer, sometimes co-host, and my friend, Richard Melbourne. Richard, welcome to the show.
And songwriter. I'm a songwriter,
And
I suppose,
songwriter, right.
before producer.
You just have too many damn things going on, brother, so forgive me.
I do. I like a full plate, though. It's just, it can get a bit too full sometimes when you got artists ringing you at God knows 5 a.m. from Africa to tell you how great your song is. It's like, you all right? Yeah, good.
Appreciate it. Yeah, DND. I'm going to tell you right now, Richard Melbourne, my phone lives on it. So before we get into everything that you're working on, I know that, obviously you've become a big part of the Scene projects and the Phoenix Rise family here recently. But before we get into all of that and these incredible opportunities that are befalling you right now, just want to get a little bit of your backstory out there, and then we'll pick it up from there.
Sure. So I was born in South Yorkshire, very working class upbringing, to a single mother, and I got bullied a lot at school. And when I was 14, I got given a guitar for Christmas. Spent the next 6 to 8 months learning everything from what we start with, which is Smoke on the Water, to Beatles, to everything. Oasis. I was a big Oasis fan when I was younger. Foo Fighters and stuff like that. And then there was an expressive arts evening at school, like at Christmas. I got up and did 3 songs. One was Blur Song 2. I think one was Little Richard, and a Christmas song. And then from that day forward, nobody ever picked on me again. After that, it was like the script flipped, and I realized that music was my passion, and I was writing songs since day one. So the first day I got a guitar, I wrote a song. It wasn't very good. I can't remember which one it was, but I should probably remember, to be fair. But yeah, and then I was writing music up until probably 2000 and what was it, 6, 7, 5? No, 5. It would have been 5. And in 2005, I started a band called No AV on the TV. We sort of came up in that Sheffield scene with Arctic Monkeys, Melbourne, Little Man Tate, Reverend of the Makers, all these sort of bands that were coming out of Sheffield in South Yorkshire at the time. It was a big scene. It's like when Manchester was in the 90s. It was like Sheffield in 2005, 2006 was like the scene. And we sort of came up with that. We started touring. We played O2 Wireless Festival with The Who. Watched a football match with Roger Daltrey, which was highlight of that. And then we did a music video. We won this competition called Road to V, which was on Channel 4, which is like a big channel in the UK, and we came second on that. And we sort of did a lot of touring, but we were a wild band. We were drinking a lot, doing a lot of sleeping on people's floors, touring in vans and stuff, and got to 2008 and I was just burnt out. Went out on a night out, met a guy, offered me a place in university as a digital designer, and sort of changed careers. Went to university just randomly overnight. I've been a designer ever since. And then in 2018, picked a guitar up again, realised that passion was still there, and just started writing again, and songs just started flowing ever since. Probably got about 60 songs now written that are just sat there that are decent. I'm starting to bring them to fruition now, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And then probably the last couple of years again, been really just hard at it, just producing, writing songs, playing guitar, just everything. Yeah.
Been at this a long time. What changes, and this is going to be a two-parter, right? What has changed for the better, and what has changed for the worse?
Well, I mean, there's been bad changes and good changes every generation, going back to when Dylan went electric to, coming forward to CDs, to Napsters. I used to download on Napster. I'm OG when it comes to streaming. Trying to download Dr. Dre all night, and your mum picks the phone up and cuts it off. What's changed? I mean, we'll get into the whole AI revolution soon, but I'd say the music industry died for me when Ed Sheeran had 9 of the top 10 in the UK for his Divide album. That was when they started counting streams rather than album sales. It was streams became part of the charts, and I think that that was the moment I realized that okay, you shouldn't be able to have 9 songs in the top 10 at the same time. That's just crazy. It was like that was sort of the flick switch for me when it went bad. Like streaming was never a bad thing, but then when streams became part of the charts, I think the charts became meaningless a little bit. Like nobody really cares about chart positions much anymore. Um, I think that the fact that artists, people talk about why people don't go into a studio for a year anymore and write an album and record an album. There's no money. There's no money in it anymore. To like the Stone Roses, a big band from the UK, they spent 18 months in a massive studio recording their second album. Nobody's going to give them the money anymore to do that. To give an artist 18 months in a studio to find what the sound is they're looking for. And I had a massive studio a couple of years ago. I spent about 20 to 30,000 on it. A lot of equipment, soundproofing, everything. And that was just to be able to record demos. It was like at the point where technology had not got to the point where it could help you enough. And like the whole AI thing, there's good points and bad points. I think that if you use it for creativity and to write your songs, that's not good. You're not a songwriter should be able to write lyrics, write melodies, use an instrument, whether that's a guitar or a piano. But what it has done, it's allowed me to get a guitar, play something, turn that into a saxophone, and put that back in the song. And I think that's great because it's opened up a world where you don't need to be spending thousands anymore to create songs. So I think AI should go into a plugin for Pro Tools where it masters your song for you, it mixes your song for you, or you say take this layer and change it into a saxophone, take this layer and change it into a piano, whatever, and integrate it like that, like you do Native Instruments or Waves or something like that, and make it for people who actually write music rather than create me a song about ketchup or something. You know what I mean? Just make it a tool for artists rather than a tool for anyone to use. Because I don't think people have a problem with AI. I think people have a problem with the amount of AI that's coming out, the amount of songs that are flooding out from everybody, whether you're a songwriter or not. So I think that every generation there's something that's been bad, something that's been good. I think the good thing about AI is it's broken the pay barrier down for artists. The studios used to control everything, where you could record, how you could record, how much you could record, and it used to be about who had the most money. There was an interesting theory about why people from rich backgrounds, kids, tend to do better in the music industry and tend to get more breaks, and it's because they've got the money to promote it. They've got the money to get their name out there and buy ads and buy all this and all that and have the best studios and get engineers and stuff like that and songwriting teachers and vocal coaches and working class lads and girls and that don't get much breaks anymore. I mean, look at Oasis. I love Oasis. There's no one's going to walk into a bar anymore and give 5 lads from a council estate a record deal. Those days are gone where people with no money, no followers got a record deal. Like now you've got to have 100,000 followers before a label will even consider you, which is crazy. You could have the best song in the world and they won't consider you because you don't have enough social media followers. That's where we're at with labels. So when labels are kicking and screaming about AI, I think you've done this to yourself. I'm sorry, you have. You've done this to yourself by not putting. You've basically made it a business rather than about the art. It was an art form that made money. Now it's a business that has art part of it to make money. So
I think that's a perfect way to put it. And it's a shame because we've both been in this industry for a long time. Similar to myself, right? We never really truly made it. We got to do some really cool things along the journey, but never made it to a point where it was going to be a long-term career for us. And I think that both of us probably could have made it had we been born a decade earlier, right? Had we
yeah,
caught a wave in the 80s where bands were still getting signed and doing things, we would have been talented enough to do that. But happenstance, born a decade too late, that our coming of age was also in the age of the music industry floundering and now being all but dead to the point that the sharks are just eating the sharks. Right. The major labels are buying up the other major labels, and Netflix is buying iHeart and all of these massive mergers and acquisitions that have been happening over the last 12 months that I know a lot of artists probably don't follow, but it tells you where things are going. And I think one positive that's going to come out of it is a thirst for organic music again, for
yeah,
organic fan bases, for smaller communities. Will you be selling out the O2? Probably not. But is that really what you need to, one, make a living as an artist, and two, feel like you've succeeded. And I think a lot of artists' mindset around an artist's career are changing as well. And we all have access now to the tools at a very affordable price to record at home, like you can in your beautiful home studio. And there's millions of those now, right? Instead of
Yeah.
being one studio in Abbey Road or that have it here, we have Capitol Records out in Los Angeles as well that are cranking out all of this music. We could have and be recording that quality of songs if you have the talent, right? I think it all comes back to that
Yeah.
as well. But to be able to bring that, but you could also hire the talent from around the world, get the best, and not have to fly people in either. We can send the stems
Yeah.
back and forth and build really amazing music remotely. I've done it myself for some of my songs, and I've also done it where I just had all my friends in a studio space. And I don't see one of them being over the other. I see it as music. I have not dipped my toes very much into the AI space. It took me long enough to figure out how to do it on a guitar and write songs myself. I don't have time to write a learning curve to figure out AI. And I don't want to just offload that creativity because that's like the
Yeah.
only thing I have. I don't have millions of fans. I don't have a lot of those things. So like that process to me is everything. That feeling at the end of it that no, I did that. You can't take that away from me. I did all of that. And I think we're going to get back to a space probably in the next 3 to 5 years as now the AI companies are investing, billions of dollars into it for themselves. That their goal is to just push the artist out completely, build AI artists, build AI music, and just own all of it and not have to pay a human being. Famously, a friend of mine who worked at A&M Records back in the 70s said, the higher ups there is like, well, why can't all these musicians just go get day jobs? Like, why do we have to deal with them at all? And they've always been, the industry has always been seeking to get the creative out of the creation.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, so for example, I do use AI for my demos because I hate working with session singers, especially for demos, because if you've ever done it, it's very painful. I mean, most of my AI is vocals because I sing it into here as a guide vocal, then replace it because it is just a demo. But the music and stuff I do myself. Like I either starts on this. I got a synth here, a mini Nova. I've got usually two more keyboards here. I've got my guitar there. I've got another electric round the corner, and they all start on that. And then the beats usually done in Pro Tools, and whether that's with Splice or whatever, or whether I've just done it on the keyboard with the sort of different sounds. And I'm actually investing in a new Roland because they got loads of cool sounds on it. But I'm now putting out a song. So I'm a songwriter. So technically, my job would be to create a demo, send it to an artist, and go, "Do you love this song?" And they'll go and re-record it anyway. So so there's no harm in using AI for that because I'm not putting it out saying, "This is my song. This is my voice. I'm an artist. This is my song." No, I'm saying I've done the demo, sang the guide. I think it'd be good for say Sabrina Carpenter. So I find a voice that sounds like Sabrina Carpenter, replace myself, send it to her, and go, "What do you think? Do you like it?" And she'll go, "Yeah, I love it." Okay. So if it was to be released as a main song, which is what I'm doing with one of my songs right now, I then go back to the drawing board from scratch, do a brand new beat, pan everything where it needs to be panned, whether get a session drummer in maybe or something, get a new bass, get a new whatever it needs. Orchestra, I've got a full string arrangement being done right now by a professional orchestra and composer. And then it's all humans. I wouldn't be putting something out as a release that's got any AI on it at all. The AI is purely there to facilitate the demo and to get the rough idea of what we're doing. Of like, oh, I need. So, for example, I've got next song I'm working on. I've got a trumpet. I'm not going to go pay somebody to come up with a trumpet line. I can do that on the keyboard, then replace it, and then go get a real person to then figure out send them what I've done on the keyboard as notes and get them to record it properly. So if you're an artist, I think that you should be putting things out that are genuine, that are human. If you're a producer and a songwriter, I don't see the harm in using it a little bit to produce a demo because somebody's going to re-record it anyway.
But unfortunately, what we have is all of these, I would call hobbyist songwriters and people who
Yeah.
are fresh to it that plug something into Suno and are like, I wrote a song and I got
Yeah.
this. And then they're like, I can put it on Spotify. So I'm going to do that. And what they don't realize is that they are devaluing all of music
Yeah.
because of the way that these companies are set up and how they pay out, that you're putting your song into a pool with something that somebody spent hundreds of hours creating and putting out there to the world, and went through all of those painstakingly hard moments to do. And so that's the double-edged sword of the AI usage, right? I agree with you, Richard. And I think it's incredible that people that don't have musical talent, to be able to get the song that's inside of them, those feelings that are inside of them, outside of them. I just don't think it's right that they should be able to then release that out into Spotify and devalue our creations because we do it in the old way, I guess, the old-fashioned way
Yeah,
of actually playing instruments.
if I was to speak to Suno and sit him down, I would say, right, you need a free version or whatever low price version that people can write me a love song that gets tagged one way, and then you have a version that you pay $500 a year for or something that's a professional music version, which makes people upload a reference. So you can't just say create me a love song. You've got to upload a song already done, or a guitar, or anything, some sort of audio reference that's got to be uploaded. And it gets tagged a different way, where it's said this is using some AI, but it's done by a person who's a musician. And it gives you the option to get rid of vocals. You can have an instrumental. You can take out tracks rather than having one render that's just a render. Everything's a separate track, so you can just take the bass off or whatever, and you can mix the real with the AI. And but it's done by somebody who knows how to make music. And this is a professional version that's integrated with Pro Tools for the musician. And then you've got this other version which is not allowed onto Spotify, which is not allowed to be used to upload onto streaming and stuff like that, because you can tag files now with different tags that say this is allowed, that's not allowed. We do have that technology. So I think that there is room for AI moving forward. We already have AI mixing and mastering going on. It's not great, but I still wouldn't use it even if it was. I'm thinking about this song that I'm doing. I said to you before the show, I'm actually inquired at 2 studios to get this mixed and mastered: Abbey Road and Rockfield. So the place where the Beatles went and the place where Bohemian Rhapsody was done, because I want this song to be the best it can be. Also, I just want to sit at that piano and play Bohemian Rhapsody. That's my dream. So, but I still think though, even a human engineer, they're like an extra session musician to me. A human engineer, because I can produce to a standard. I still am the one who gets all the elements back and goes, right, that should go there, that should go there, cut that bit out, I don't want that, I want that. And I will produce the whole arrangement, and then the final mix will be done by a professional mixer who's been doing it for 10,000 hours or whatever in a professional studio, because that's like hiring another session musician. They're good at what they do. I'm good at ideas, I'm good at writing, I'm good at knowing where to put things. But I don't know what compressor to use on what thing and all this stuff. That's their job. You know what I mean? I like to work with people who know what they're doing, and I would never proclaim to be the best at everything. I just know what I'm good at, and then I hire people who are good at other things to work with me, sort of thing.
Well, and that kind of brings us around to why the Scene Projects and the Phoenix Rise, the Scene Projects Academy and this community that we're building, that you're becoming such an integral part of, are showing so much success in a short amount of time, right? It's hard to believe looking back that AJ and I just met each other 6 months ago, right? And you even less, and all these new artists that are coming in through the podcast of Unsigned Spotlight, and having the ability to connect with so many artists, and then reaching back out to them, and having it when we need a vocalist, that you're no longer just scouring the internet. We're able to go to our community and to say, hey, we need this, this, and this. Is that you? And people are able to respond to that. And having seen success in that in a very short amount of time gives me a lot of excitement for the future of what we're growing, and to get back to creating music with other humans, having the ability to create the demos with AI, so that we're not trying to necessarily, reinvent the wheel. And it's here, right? It's not like it's going anywhere. It's not going to be outlawed. It's not going to not become a part of the music industry anytime soon. I think it's going to change. I think we're seeing with the lawsuits and things that are starting to come out, there's going to be some massive changes in that world over the next 18 months.
Yeah. It's the Wild West
on the rights and usage sides, right? Things that don't matter to people that are just creating music, who don't have a lot of musical talent to bring out. But I think that the way you're using it to create demos, instead of having to try and, like you said, spend an exorbitant amount of money on studio musicians, and then having to deal with all of those personalities and time and people just not doing it, when you can plug it into the AI at this point and in a couple hours have it fleshed out the way that you want it and go, okay, now I need to find XYZ players or performers or
Yeah.
vocalists to work into these spaces that I have filled in the gaps with. And I don't find anything wrong with it. Honestly, I don't find anything wrong with the creation with AI for people that know nothing about music. I don't have a problem with it. What I have a
No.
problem is that they have an open platform to be able to release it, which
Yeah.
devalues the work that you're doing in your studio. Like they're not the same thing,
No.
right? And I think that what we're working very hard now to do is to find that distinction, right? And what are we going to do? But it's fine. I mean, it's not a big deal. If people are going to listen to it, great, right? They've already devalued the music industry for artists to
Yeah.
the nth degree anyway, right? So it's not that big of a deal, but there's still a little bit of, there's still something in there. And I don't know if I necessarily feel it in like I don't know if I feel it on a personal level, right? I don't know that I don't care. If you're creating something, I think that's wonderful. But, and I'm not making any money off of my Spotify streams. The 12 monthly listeners that I have aren't moving the needle for me in that platform. I don't spend any money to push people onto that platform, but I have friends that do very well there. And I hate to see them lose what they have worked so hard to build because Johnny down the street learned how to use Suno and is just creating 50 songs a day that are all kind of crap, but Spotify's giving him an open lane to release them out there and devalue further the product that we've spent so many years honing our talent and then hours and hours and thousands of dollars to create and get out there onto the airwaves. So, like I said, double-edged sword. I still don't really know where I stand on all of it, but I hate to see artists who have just been beaten down over the last 2 decades because of the technology and streaming and where everything has gone to take another massive hit like this. And there's some big conversations to be had in that realm.
Yeah, and it's sad because a song like Too Little Too Late that I've got that I wrote about domestic abuse and physical abuse, AI can't write about that. That's a life experience that you have to go through, the emotion, and people feel that. They feel when a song was written by AI and when somebody wrote it. They do, and that's the problem. It doesn't matter what it sounds like. And I think I can tell whether a song is AI or not, and the lyrics usually give it away to me. Like the not the vocals, the lyrics, because it's still not very good at writing lyrics. Because lyrics, it's like writing poetry. It's a human thing. Like life experience goes into lyrics like it does poetry and stuff. So you can. The funny thing is, the people I've seen kicking off about it are all singers. There's no guitarist going, AI's taking my job. There's no drummers going, AI's taking my job. It's all singers. So I don't know what the correlation between that is, but I've seen a lot of vocalists really vocal about AI, but like none of the other musicians are going, I'm a guitarist, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I know what I do well, so I'm a songwriter. I could get threatened and go, oh, it's going to do what I can do and everything, but it can't do what I do. It can't do what other people do because it's a computer. Humans
It
make
can't
music.
express itself. It can't
No.
express the human experience, which is what music at its essence is. And that's why I don't feel threatened and why I support people that are out there creating. I just think that there needs to be some distinctions and a little bit of separation out there
Yeah.
as far as like this was created using, and maybe it's a percentage, right? Maybe, hey, this was
Yeah.
used 75% AI, but that's their real voice and they wrote those lyrics, or it's vice versa, right? It's I created all the music and I used an AI voice because I can't sing where like there's so many different
Yeah.
angles to it, right? It's such a nuanced deep conversation. Maybe we should start another podcast, Richard, since we're becoming better and better friends, just digging into AI every week and music and what's happening in that world. I know that's exactly what we both need is one more thing to do. But
Yeah, exactly.
tell me about you got a song coming out. AJ Waller, our brilliantly talented co-host and the founder of Phoenix Rise, you're a manager, but also a brilliant songwriter in his own right. You guys worked on a song together that's now going to be going out this June with Fathers for Justice. Tell me a little bit about, first of all, the process, and then kind of that feeling of knowing that, like, oh, this song that we thought was really good is now going to be heard by millions of people.
I mean, all credit goes to AJ for this. I came in and helped. So his version was about 8 minutes long, and it was like an epic song that I thought I was like, I went and mowed the lawn and come back, and it was still going. I was like, yeah, it's like, but so he had all these verses, and he had a long chorus and stuff, and he wrote all these amazing lyrics and this amazing melody, and the essence of the song was there. And as a producer, when I'm not writing, it's not my song I'm writing really. I'm just sort of producing. It's the producer's job to be impartial, to come in and not be precious to the and go, right, cut that bit from the verse, that chorus needs to be cut out of there, put that in the bridge and stuff, and to arrange a song in a way that the listener is captivated all the way through. They're not bored. They don't get stuck on the chorus too long. There's the bridge is in the right place. The breakdown happens at the right area. The solo's long enough. So I just came in and did that. Really, I came in and I restructured it. I changed. It was more of a rock song, like heavy rock. And I came in and added a bit of an 80s flair to it. But what I did with the EQ was I call it adding air. So at the top of the EQ, you pull it up so that there's sort of this breath to the song like an air, and it just gave that sort of feeling. I know it was weird when I did that mix. It just had it. Sometimes you can't put a finger on what it is with a mix. Sometimes you do a mix and it's like that's it. I don't know why, but that's it. There's just a feeling in the song, in the sound. It's just there. The vocals were on point, and the vocals were really difficult to get. So we tried a real singer. And he had the right tone, but not the right emotion. So the song is about AJ's daughters, and he hasn't seen them for a long time and stuff, and about his sort of journey. And he was single, this guy, he'd not had kids, and it's hard to explain to somebody who's not a father what being a father's like. Do you know what I mean? I have 4 kids. I know exactly what being a father's like. You have kids. It's a feeling that you think you're going to know what it feels like until you have it, and then it's something you never forget, but something you could have never expressed unless you feel it. It's one of those things. It's like, I can tell somebody what it's like to jump out of a plane, but until you jump out of a plane in a parachute, you don't know what it's like. It's a feeling. So we loved his tone and his delivery. So what I did was I managed to use a program, another AI program, but not Suno, to use my diction sort of thing, but his tone, and we sort of did like a mashup between the both, if you know what I mean. And it sort of used my delivery, but his sort of vocal and tone and stuff, and it came out great. It was a lot of work though, as far as like we used to call it tape work back in the day. So I've recorded on tape, I've recorded in a pigsty, I've recorded on the karaoke machine, I've recorded on pretty much every. So when people say to me, "Oh, it's AI, use AI," I'm like, I have recorded on stuff that you probably didn't even know about. Like in places you probably didn't even know about. I have seen every generation of recording from like when back we used to do it on tape to now, so I'm not too bothered about what they say. But yeah, the song in the end was really good. But the Fathers for Justice thing, I didn't know he was going to do it. He sent it off, and he said, "Oh, Fathers for Justice are interested." And it was so funny because when we got Matt, the founder, he said we get thousands of songs per year, thousands, and I'm like, oh, not another song. Oh, not another song. And they must get loads of songs, especially now with AI. Can you imagine how many people are sending them songs? And his team said, no, you need to play this. You need to listen to it. So he played it and he got back and said, we love it. We'd like to use it for our 25th anniversary. And we said yes. And then it was like, right, we need a video. We need teasers. We need this. We need a cover. We need. So then it was down to me to like, oh, wait.
We need it all tomorrow or yesterday.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It was like, we've got a week to do 2 teasers, which we did. So we come up with a concept for the video. Now, we can't go out and shoot a bespoke video. We don't have the time. We've got a month till Father's Day, and we had literally a week until the teasers. But what I did have was access to a lot of shoots that have been done by professional videographers of all sorts of different stuff. And it's all I can use, and I do use it for my own videos. So, but it's coming up with a concept that fits, because you think for a 5-minute video, it's nearly 5 minutes. There's not going to be enough clips to have one character or one thing, so we need a concept that can go across 5 minutes but have a familiar feel. So what I came up with was try and find as much footage of fathers with their daughters, with their sons as possible, but like home movie footage. So that was one angle to the concept. So the concept is we've got all these fathers looking out at the ocean, which is the song's called Oceans Keep Us Apart. and they're all looking a bit somber, obviously, because they miss their kids and daughters and stuff, and they're thinking about their families. And then interweaving that with home movie footage of kids playing and stuff, and like, so it's like their memories. So suddenly you're tapping into them. They're looking at the ocean, and then it goes to and it's really clear and 4K, and it's got good, all been colorized the same. And then every different person cuts to a different child in their memory in like a home movie footage. So it's like you're tugging on the heartstrings a little bit, getting a glimpse into what they're thinking about while they're looking at the ocean, while they're walking around, while they're doing this. And I thought I can get enough fathers, 5 or 6, and get enough to be able to cut this together, and it'd be like this, not just about one father, not just about, it's about all fathers, and about their memories of their kids and the fact they all miss them and stuff. So yeah, so it was coming up with a concept really and finding the footage. But yeah, the song, it's all AJ. I just came in and produced it. I just came in and went, that bit's good, that bit's good, get rid of that bit. That bit, we need to sound more 80s, we need to have a bit more synth here and stuff. So, but it was his song, his melody, I just trimmed and made it sound a bit better. So
Well, and that's going to be such a massive moment for all of us, right? And one of those watershed moments for everything that we've been building and growing. And what an incredible feeling for AJ. I know it is. We talk every day. In fact, I'm well behind on my daily phone call with him now. But to have Fathers for Justice feel the emotion in the song and to say, we want to use this for our 25th anniversary and we want to have this as our flagship, and to have that out there. And especially when you consider the thousands of submissions that they're getting year over year, to be selected is an incredible honor. And I know I'm just so proud of AJ. I'm so proud of you guys for pulling this all together in a short amount of time. And I can't wait to see what it does, right? But I also can't wait to see the lives that it changes as these fathers listen to it and go, that's my story, right? Because that's what music is. And that's what
yeah,
AI can't replace, because AI can never tell my story. And I
yeah,
think
exactly.
that's a great way to put a bow on this conversation, at least, Richard. I know we got your everybody can find your music, Spotify and YouTube. Raw 84, RAW 84, Spotify and YouTube. For our audio only listeners, video, you guys can see it scrolling across the bottom. Richard, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you over the last few months and getting to actually spend some time with you here chatting today. Anything else that you want to plug before I let you go?
Well, no, I mean, to be fair, my stuff's going to be really big going out in like July, August. So I'm aiming for July, August to get these songs out. But I want it to be right. I've got to get it mixed. Like I say, I'm looking for rappers, I'm looking for singers, I'm looking for the right voices. I've got 50 songs, and I'm starting with this one, and then I'm just going to keep making them better and releasing them, and yeah, and just putting giving opportunities to all these good people that we found in the Scenes project as well. I'm looking forward to working with yourself on a song. We've got a song that we're working on together, which is really exciting. So that looking forward to that as well. I think the summer's going to be busy. I'm already busy, and I think the summer's going to get even more busy. So
Yep, I couldn't agree more. And I'm looking forward to creating a lot of music with you over the rest of our lives, and creating music with a lot of other really talented artists. So, all you artists, please join our academy, thesceneprojects.com/academy. Find out more about us and everything that we're doing. Have an opportunity to work with AJ and have him guide your career in much the same way that he is guiding Richard's now. And, if you need a producer, we know a guy. So, absolutely adore you, Richard. I think you're a wonderful addition to our team, and I'm really happy to have you as part of the scene. So thank you.
happy to be here, mate. Always.